Welcome back to another episode of Dear Source, your ascendancy hotline, where we talk about all the things in life that we experience, whether it's relationships, work, you name it, health, wellness. There is zero topics off limit of what we talk about on this show. And it's really about connecting everything to our spiritual growth. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we're human beings having a spiritual experience. So everything that we go through is for our highest and greatest good and to help us grow spiritually. So I could not be more excited to get connected in with the individual that sent me a letter that is the topic of today's show. So let's get connected with Source and see how we can support this individual in their spiritual evolution. So this letter comes from Overworked and Out of Balance, and it reads, "Dear Source, I'm struggling with something that feels like it's consuming my life, work. I can't seem to stop, and unless I'm constantly working, I feel like a failure. There's a pressure I put on myself to keep pushing, to keep achieving, and it's gotten to the point where work has become almost like an escape, maybe even an addiction. I don't know why I can't find balance or step away without feeling like I'm letting myself down. Even on vacations, I find myself glued to my laptop, checking emails, working on projects, feeling as though I need to stay useful. I'm exhausted, and I know deep down that I'm missing out on other parts of my life, but the thought of stopping just brings me so much anxiety. How can I find a way to loosen this grip, Source? How can I allow myself to rest and find balance without feeling like I'm somehow failing? I need help understanding why I'm trapped in this cycle and how to break free. Sincerely, Overworked and Out of Balance." So thank you, Overworked and Out of Balance, for that beautiful letter. And first, let me just say thank you for your vulnerability, for the recognition of where you're at in life. And I think that's the beginning is the awareness. When we're unaware and we're moving through life, really what I would say would be unconscious, like just going through the motions, just doing stuff, all the while probably feeling anxiety or frustration or things building up because you're not honoring the highest truth of who you are. So anytime we're feeling out of alignment, our alignment should feel easeful, peaceful, loving, restful. And anytime we're not in that state, that's just an internal GPS. Our emotions are an internal GPS system to remind us that we're not in alignment. They're reminding us that we are not connected in with the infinite love that we all are here to be. And when we're not in a state of love, when we're not in a state of peace, we're not in a state of joy and those higher vibrational emotions, and we're in states of lack and fear and control and deeming our worthiness by what we achieve and what's the outcome that we achieve, that is really, really, really challenging. And so I think number one, you have a lot of awareness about where you're at. And I think the thing I would offer as a starting point is to check in as to why are you so driven to work? Why are you prioritizing work over everything else in your life that may or may not be bringing you joy and peace? What's really driving that desire? Why are you attached into work determining your worthiness? Because my underlying feeling of what I think you need to look into is where do I allow myself to feel in other areas unworthy? It's almost like a food addiction, and I can absolutely relate to this. This was very much how I functioned for many, many, many years, and how I got through, I think, parts of an unhappy marriage that I was a part of is I just threw myself into work, and not really knowing that I was using work to avoid myself, what really needed to go on within myself to grow myself, because I wanted to just externalize, like, oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I have to work. Oh, it's this, versus really looking inside myself, going, where am I so unhappy? Why do I not want to be living these other aspects of my life that should be bringing me so much joy and happiness? That's a really big shift. That's a really big shift to make, to go to really look inward and go, where am I using this work, whether it's a substance? I mean, it can be anything. We can use anything as a tool to stay out of right relationship, A, with ourselves, but then B, with other people. And so this is an opportunity for you to really peel back the layers and look internally and understand, where am I avoiding myself? Where am I avoiding life? Why am I allowing work to become all consuming? Why do I not feel validated in other aspects of my life? Like, this is a time to get really, really, really curious, and only you hold the answers to it. Nobody else can tell you, like, here's why you're doing that. Like, you have to look internally why you're doing that. And as you continuously peel back those layers, that becomes the gift to love aspects of yourself that you're probably pushing away, to bring those into yourself, to understand that you are worthy of all all the things, because you are an emanation of God. You are a child of God. You are source itself. Like, we did not come here to play small. We came here to play incredibly big. We came here to shine our light. So any places where we choose to dim our light or turn it off because it's too big, it's uncomfortable, we don't want to express it, that's where we've got to look to go, where am I not allowing myself to truly be the full expression of who I am? And work oftentimes can be a place where we find a sense of false identity, false worthiness. Oh, everybody at work likes me. Everybody thinks I'm really good at this, which is all true, but that is also true in every other aspect of your life. But there is a part of you that doesn't feel worthy and doesn't believe those things, because you're using work as the external validation of that. And so the work is to go internally, to find your worthiness, to find all those places inside of you that are magnificent and special. And we can use stuff like this to numb and push ourselves down and keep ourselves asleep. And sometimes we don't even know that we're doing it. And in this is our ego. In this is really our humanness. When we get into spaces like this where it feels very dark, and it's like, okay, I know this is all consuming. I know I'm not balanced, because there is an ease that we are supposed to have. Like, we did not show up to work, die, work, die, work, die, work, die. We did not come in to live a life that is predicated by work. Like, you don't walk through a cemetery and see what anybody's job title was, where they worked. The only thing that people remember is the love and the way that you made them feel. And work should be an outward expression of your love and who you are and how you want to serve the human collective, and for your ability to impact a significant amount of lives. And when you're in a state of what you described in this letter, are you really at your fullest expression to be able to even offer that at work? Let's say you love it, but are you in a place to truly, truly, truly express that? And so I think that there's such a beautiful opportunity for you to spend the time right now to go inward, to really start doing a lot of self-inquiry of like, what am I using work for to try to replace? And sit in the silence and allow Source to give you the answers, and be okay with what comes up, and to acknowledge that and go, oh, like, I am using work to validate my worthiness. Gosh, I love that part of me that wants to make sure that the world is positively impacted by me. I am so grateful that that part of me is so deeply loving and caring. Like, please come in. I love you. You're whole. You're part of me. And I've got this. We have to bring in all those aspects into ourselves. And there's a lot to unpack. We have so much to learn about ourselves, because we came in here to kind of strip away the layers and find the essence of our souls and remove the elements of humanness that no longer serve us, to overcome that aspect of our ego and to rise into a new level of consciousness. And it's a daily practice. There isn't a moment that we don't stop having to requalify. And the beauty of this journey is awareness. It's just being aware. Are you aware of that aspect of yourself? Because in awareness, you bring the light to it. You bring consciousness to it. You allow yourself to make a different decision just through your awareness of that behavior. You know, so oftentimes we just go through the motions and we don't even know what we're doing or why we're doing it. And so having that ability to slow things down, to have recognition of like, okay, why am I staying at work past the time I need to be working in order to, what am I avoiding? Like, right there alone, you've already raised your consciousness. You don't have to have some deep psychoanalytic, like, what's going on here. Just even that helps you become more aware and to requalify that and to make a different choice of how you want to proceed forward. Like, I think in business, but in even the example where you're like, I'm on vacation and I can't not work. It's like asking yourselves, why can I not relax into my vacation? What about me working is so important right now that I can't just step away and completely disconnect? What would happen if I didn't respond to this email? And you got to kind of be able to sit with whatever those responses that come back internally, because they're coming from source of what those are, and understanding like, oh, I'm doing that because I don't want to be here with myself, or oh, I'm with my family and I don't enjoy being around them maybe as much, or maybe it triggers my unworthiness. So I'll spend time where I do feel that I'm worthy. You know, we can use a lot of things to truly subvert our spiritual growth. And that's why they're presented to us. So as we become aware, we are able to transcend and to grow and become cognizant of what is going on and how can I overcome what is going on? What is my relationship with work? How do I exist in right relationship with work? Work is a part of our human experience. We're never going to go, oh, I'm done working and everything's fine. That's not the solution to the problem. That's not the answer. We're not in a utopian. We're here to be of service. We're here to be on purpose. We're here to give the light of our soul to the world through work, through the expression of who we are, whether that's you're employed by somebody, or whether that's you have created a business and that's an expression through you. It doesn't quite honestly matter. What matters is that you understand that you are here to express your light to the world, that you are here to find your purpose, to find your soul's frequency, to embrace every beautiful aspect of yourself and offer that to the world. And understand that anything that's coming up that isn't in alignment with that is just an opportunity for you to grow, for you to look at yourself and going, what is going on here that is not truthful, that is not in the truth of who I am, and how do I realign with that? So at the end of the day, this is just a beautiful gift, and you are in a beautiful place because you're aware of how do you re-qualify and use work for your soul's growth. What is my purpose? Am I living my purpose? Where am I giving my worthiness away to work when intrinsically I am already worthy? I don't need to prove it through my work and through my actions. So this topic is deeply personal to me because I spent a vast majority of my life living in this state because I used it as a technique to avoid other aspects of my life that I just didn't want to look at head on and step into and really understand, like, what am I avoiding? Work was an avoidance for me. And I had to really, really, really look at that and become way more comfortable with knowing that I don't want to avoid life. I don't want to bury my head in the sand. There was a part where it was so unfulfilling that I recognized that. And the work that I have gone through is transformational. And I just offer you the same invitation of, like, if you really dive into this, because this is presenting itself for your highest and greatest growth, that if you really step into this and really acknowledge what's going on and really start to look at, what does my soul want me to do here? What is my soul's vision for me? What is my soul trying to gift me through this learning of recognizing that I'm using work in an unhealthy, out of balanced, not in right relationship with it way? Like, there is something beautiful that your soul is wanting to gift you through this experience. The recognition of this helps you make that step forward. So step into it. Allow yourself to fall forward. Allow yourself to become vulnerable. Allow yourself to understand and access what's going on rather than pushing it down, because through this, like, all of this is by divine right order. All of this is happening on purpose for you, for your highest growth and evolution. There is nothing that is by mistake. It's all by perfect design. So having this recognition and using it to propel yourself and your soul forward is why the universe is gifting you this awareness. So embrace it. If you would like to connect and have a personal, private one-on-one session with me, The link is everywhere on every page that you can find me. Book on my calendar. I would love to connect with you to, I think, dive more deeply into where you're personally at and how do you use this moment to activate yourself to the highest and greatest good of all. So I think what a beautiful letter. If you are also, let's say, business owners, operators, and you know that you have employees that maybe feel like this or are doing this, again, let's connect. Let's talk about how do you really shift environments where people feel activated and on purpose and connected with what they're doing. So again, book on my calendar. The other beautiful thing that's coming in 2025 is a wonderful community that I'm working on building for humanity, for us to connect, for us to have space to explore our spirituality, to bring these situations into the group, to have connection, because we are a connected species and we need that in order to grow and to move it to true something beyond just flat interactions through devices, but something that's of true connection. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you again. Until next time, honor your truth, trust the process, and stay connected to Source.